Today we're going to talk about food rules and how to challenge them. You may have heard people talk about living with food freedom, and these things are synonymous with each other. So let's break it down. Food rules are everywhere. Everywhere. We see them, we hear them from our friends, our family, from strangers. I know every single time that I go out in public, I hear food rules being talked about all around me. We hear them in the media, on the news. They are all over social media, especially when it comes to algorithms. If you tend to watch certain videos, then you're going to see more and more and more of them. And whether we realize it or not, we internalize these rules. They become part of our belief systems. They become part of the rules that are ingrained in our mind, and they are not supportive for us whatsoever. They actually tend to create a lot of chaos, a lot of confusion. So we want to challenge these. We want to work to get away from food rules that are being created for you and kind of like make your own rules for how you live. Let's go over some examples of what food rules even are. So here are some, and I'm sure that you can think of even more that you've seen or heard lately. Examples are: you need to avoid sugar if you want to be healthier, if you want to lose weight. Gluten is bad for you. Processed foods are horrible for you. Carbs make you fat. Eating past 7 p.m. is unhealthy. Like as soon as it turns 7:01, food becomes unhealthy. Fruit is bad for you. Whole wheat is better. Anything white, bread, potatoes, rice, flour should not be eaten. White foods are a no-no. You really should wait until noon to eat. Too much fat makes you fat. You should only eat red meat, right? The carnivores, the only eating red meat and sticks of butter. Plant-based is the healthiest way to eat. Too much protein is bad for your kidneys. These are some ones that I see and hear a lot of and have been around for a while. And again, there are so many more out there. And unfortunately, I think that they will continue to be around. And when we really look at these food rules with perspective and all of them lined up, we can see that these actually, some of them cancel each other out, right? Some of these things, it can't be true that you should only eat meat, but then too much protein is bad for your kidneys, right? These are dependent things, and they're not even actually factual. So really being aware of certain food rules that maybe you want to take a minute or two right now and even jot down ones that come to mind for you, because those are living rent-free in your brain right now. So let's get them out. And now let's talk about a couple of strategies so you can unlearn and navigate food rules so you can have a little bit more food freedom. One is going to be practicing self-awareness. So really thinking about and considering where the rule even came from. Maybe it was something you saw on social media. Maybe it was something your friend just told you about. Maybe it was from your mom growing up, and we're not calling anyone names because they gave us this. People are really out there for the most part trying to do the best that they can, but these things get perpetuated. So thinking about and considering where the rule came from and really thinking about is that even true? Do some critical thinking here. Observe your thoughts without judgment. So really trying to take away emotionality as much as possible, taking away judgment, and replacing the judgmental thoughts as much as possible. So when a food rule kind of comes into play, when you notice something coming to mind, then you're going to change that thought. So for example, this cookie is so bad for me. I'm being bad by eating it. Instead, because the cookie in and of itself is not bad, you're not bad for eating it. And that sentence in and of itself is actually really, really harmful for you. So instead, trying something like, that cookie was so delicious, and it's really cool that I can allow myself to enjoy a cookie. Giving yourself permission to eat any food you want and see what happens. This is something that takes practice. So I will tell you that, especially if you've had maybe not the best relationship with food in the past, this takes a lot of practice, a lot of work here in gaining experience, just like anything. But giving yourself permission to, sit and enjoy a cookie or something like that and actually taste it and not attach guilt or shame or punishment to it. Just see what happens. Okay. Challenge the food rules. Again, is this claim proven? Is it true? Can the claimed effect actually happen? Is the claimed rule even healthy for you? Is it healthy for me to cut out fruit from my diet entirely? And these are things that, you can look for evidence in. And I really encourage you that if you're going to go to Google or something like that, don't type in, is fruit bad for you? Because you will always find proof depending on how you word things. Because again, these food rules are being created in the world. And I would really encourage you, if you're getting information from a place like social media, to take that with a huge grain of salt and really look at who is informing you, because there's a lot of people out there who have very skewed views and live in absolutes and are perpetuating food rules. So go to someone that you trust. You can always ask me or another reputable coach who isn't living in absolutes and ask to have, some factual data, some information on things like this. Really doing some research, looking for evidence-based research when you Google things can be really huge here as well. Giving yourself permission to not be perfect, because there really is no such thing. So unlearning food rules, challenging food rules takes time. Again, this takes practice. It's not something that just happens because you wanted to or because you're aware of it. You've been operating with these rules, with these thoughts, with these belief systems for probably a pretty long time. And even when you start to change certain ones, other ones may pop up as well. So give yourself permission to not just be good at something automatically or change your belief systems automatically. This is going to take time, and it's going to take redirection and work. So just know that and set some more realistic expectations for yourself as you do this. And something that you can do kind of as a thought experiment is exploring what life would look like without food rules. In what ways would your life be better? In what ways may your life be worse? In what ways would your life be different? I really would encourage you to do a journaling exercise with this. Create some lists with headings on it, and then let yourself just kind of brain dump on those lists. Set a timer for 2 or 3 minutes and brain dump on there. And think about how your life would be different, how your life would feel, how you may feel in certain situations without food rules. If you have any questions on this or you want some more resources, you have questions, please don't hesitate to reach out to me and